baby, down in my soul. You, baby, you can't take it no more. No, I know I'm walking out that door the way you treated me too many times before. Don't you know you love me, baby, too? Oh, you know I want you there, I wanna be right there with you. I know I gotta keep you by my side till the day I die. 'Cause baby, ecstasy is in my hand. Oh, when I'm holding yours in mine and walking in the sand. Oh, baby, you know it's fine. Oh, now you done and piss me off. You ain't done something you shouldn't have done. Baby, I'm mad. I'm going on. Oh, I'm going on.
Howdy! That just never works out right. Can't. I really think I remember doing the volume slider back and changing the music back to where it would start up without hiccups this time, but it started with the volume all the way down again because at the end of the little intro I usually manually slide the little volume thing down. I wish there was some way I could do this with an old school mixer board, but that is not a reality. Anyway, so welcome everyone to the Lost Begotten 11Z's slightly tardyish AM broadcast, and thanks for joining me. And howdy, Emily, Maximo, and looks like James. I enjoy having someone named James here. I just want to say that, James, because, you know, I am sort of a Clarkson-esque character, and who would I and where would I be without, you know, the ability to say James? just every now and again. I just enjoy saying the word James, I think it is, as in James May. But, I'm a big dork. I don't know if you've noticed that. What's up, Carlos? Okay, so today's show is brought to you by random objects. Random objects. They're what you insert when you don't have other ideas. Okay. And also general fuckery. And also by viewers like you. Because YouTube, and I guess I'm just going to go right into this shit. YouTube has been kicking the fuck out of more than just my channel. And I remember reaching out to other channels. And, there were several people who I thought maybe were educated enough to respect a historical reference. And even to the people at AdSense themselves, because if AdSense revenue goes down, those people are going to be the first to get cut by Google. They came for this group, but I didn't speak for this group because I wasn't part of this group. Then they came for another group, and depending on who I was emailing, I would insert different groups and felt different inspirational needs to, either make them references to the past or relevant references to people that they're coming for now. And they came for this group and they came for that group. I didn't speak for this group. I didn't speak for that group because I wasn't a member of this group. I wasn't a member of that group. Eventually, they came for me. Nobody spoke because there was no one left because I didn't speak for them. Now, not to be adding one cliche to another, but the fact of the matter is, I can prove that the most proper expectation is to not have your expectation fulfilled as far as what happens when my spirit comes back to guide people. Okay? Just, hold up, you're really screwing things up big time. Intervention. Okay? That's it. And I can prove how and why people have biblically misinterpreted things and created a false expectation. And I can prove that the proper expectation that one should have, if one extrapolates based upon this fuckery and deconfigurates it from the overall logic of the equation, that my wife and I are actually what you're supposed to expect. But, that would take spiritual awareness and humility and a society that isn't based on ethnic, cultural, and religious cleansing. I mean, this planet went Orwellian a long time ago. At least since the 70s. Okay? It's been one way or the other, or you don't get airtime. And coincidentally, and to give an idea to the scale of the infiltration involved, coincidentally, the ideas that were added to both sides, you know, whether it be the libertarian type crowd or the Bernie crowd, those additional approved things all tie back to Russia. So it's not as though we have a self-enforced Orwellian society. We have a divided prospect of being ruled by the vocal minority and those who are easily bullshitted by the vocal minority. And meanwhile, just rational people, just normal fucking people. And you know, I'm not including myself in normal, but I am at least rational. I have at least given due diligence to skepticism of myself on this channel. I've played this all out as a self-inflicted experiment, okay? Kind of like the self-inflicted haircut that's way past due. But I emailed different channels that I thought seemed like cool people, okay? Seemed like really cool people. And I thought maybe I could open their eyes to what was going on. And I approached everything in a different, subtle way, with a different degree of skepticism, with a different degree of self-deprecation. And I got no response. And while it may have seemed at the time like I was asking for help from them, it was actually the other way around. I could see them waiting on the shore as a tidal wave was coming. And they were laughing and having a good time. And everything they were doing was right on the shore, on a normal day, in a normal reality. But they didn't see the horizon begin to rise. And they thought it peculiar and interesting when the tide began to flow outward, suddenly, quickly, rapidly. And by the time they realized what was happening, the water had fallen down around them. I reached out to these channels saying, look, I may not be somebody you agree with, but it's pretty obvious that I'm on your side. And what I know for a reason. And I didn't go all spiritual mumbo jumbo, because I don't have to go all spiritual mumbo jumbo to back up why I know what I know. I've been in the real shit for some real time now, okay? None of them realized that as they were drowning, I tried to push a raft out to them. They didn't take the raft. As they were drowning, as the water was rising around them, as the water was splashing down upon them, I threw a log out there, thinking maybe they could grab onto the log. hold on to that, save themselves. A video log, if you will. They didn't grab onto the log. That water kept rising. And now they are swept out to sea. They haven't drowned yet, but you can see the panic. And even a man who I severely admire and respect, named Eric the Car Guy. Yes, that is his real name. Eric. Middle name V, last name Car Guy. He's begun to wonder if he can keep his channel going. And he's a backbone of YouTube, man. Like, he is one of the reasons why many people get on YouTube and realize, hey, there's useful shit on here. He's been an inspiration to many other YouTubers. Frankly, he should have like a paid retirement package for the work he's put in. But he just made a video on ETCG1, his secondary little vlog channel. His main channel has over 1 million subscribers. His little secondary vlog channel has 122,000 subscribers. And his views, like the David Pakman shows, like other centrist and progressive or liberal shows before that, have seen their views go rapidly down in this forgivably, at best, too little too late effort on the part of YouTube to supposedly censor fake news. But let's be real about it. It's not forgivable what they did. It's not. There's no well intention to be assumed here. I'm sure some of them are decent people. I'm sure there are some good people that work at YouTube. I'm sure there's lots of good people that work at YouTube who went to school, made good grades, applied for a job, and were thankful that they could provide for themselves and their families. But there are obviously some people at YouTube with an agenda. And what they have done with this too little too late effort is silence and violate the rights of the lesser vocal, the more reasonable majority. And that's the majority that pays the bills. That's the majority that buys the products, that drives the cars, that plays the video games. It's not the far right fringe plus spy bots plus troll bots plus paid actors plus meat puppets plus fake views for $2.99 per 100 or whatever. Google it. It's fucking ridiculous. YouTube has, for some reason, okay, and it seems to be the result of infiltration, because it can't be that all the people at YouTube are fucking evil. That's ridiculous. I would hope so. I would hope that that's ridiculous. I hope I'm rational in saying that idea is ridiculous, that everybody at YouTube is a KGB agent or some shit like that. No. I refuse to believe that. I think there have to be some good people at YouTube who would be concerned if their employer is being used by an authoritarian foreign regime to usurp American democracy and democratic processes, which include, by the way, the very fundamental part of our democracy, the very fundamental building block of our governmental system. It's not taxes. It's not Congress. It's not the Supreme Court, and it's not the White House. It's free speech. And when you don't stand up for your fellow Americans' right to speak freely, especially when their warnings are coming true via FBI investigations, okay, you failed to take the raft. You failed to take hold of the log. And even when I swam out from shore to rescue you myself, many of you simply pushed my face down in the water so you didn't have to see me. And where's it gotten us? Trumped. And now on to the 100 years. Desolation. I tried. I did my best for the other many items on my plate. And my ad revenue this morning actually dropped another $10. It's now just not even worth looking at anymore. It's going to take a full year before I get a single payment from AdSense. That's how bad it is. And then I see two of my last 3 live streams have been demonetized for content. I guess me making a comedic retort to what YouTube should be focusing on, which is troll bots and constant harassment and a mafia-like army that enforces Orwellian policies on YouTube that inhibits people's free speech through gang activity, essentially. I had a problem with that, so they had a problem with me. Okay? They don't have a problem with that, though. Guess what? They're going to have their own problems now. And I do apologize for the soul pressure making you nauseous this morning, Emily. But I woke up a little bit pissed off. I woke up to seeing my videos demonetized, my revenue tank some more, and probably my favorite YouTuber, Eric the Car Guy, saying he can't do no more. And one of the things he was planning on doing with his revenue was a lot like the help this old lady thing. He was going to randomly select people and fix their cars. And you know, he got caught up in a little race car project, and he's sitting there blaming himself and everything. He didn't need to be blaming himself. Nobody that watched his channel was really concerned about the Fairmount project enough to complain about it. And frankly, I haven't been getting notifications. Okay, like I don't even rely on notifications. I have a a flat screen, widescreen, right? And you got YouTube on the PlayStation 3, and you click subscriptions, and it's supposed to be a feed as posted in order of post from most recent, every single video from everyone you're subscribed to. And some people's videos just don't show up like they're supposed to. I don't get an email about them. I shouldn't have to get an email about them. They should just show up. I go on there twice a day, and I scroll through every single video that every single subscription has posted, and I should be able to do that. It is a good mechanism by which civilization is upheld through competent awareness, through access, organized access, at the level of expectation of present technology, of present, competence in general, access to the free speech of reporters, of vloggers, of credible news agencies. I'm being denied access to that by being fooled into believing that I have access to that. See? And there you have serious legal consequences. Especially considering that this too little too late attempt to deny access based upon some sort of corrupt connection between YouTube and the FSB, which seems to be apparent. I mean, that's the only plausible explanation I have for it, although I am open to other possible explanations. But I've been seeing this pattern and reporting it and predicting it effectively for years now. They have defrauded people of what I'm sure is millions of dollars. And not just people like Eric the Car Guy and the David Pakman Show, who were just people that come to mind because I seem to be watching them the most frequently. Well, at least David Pakman I watch the most frequently. He doesn't want to get his foot too far into certain pools, and that's kind of annoying about him, but I guess it keeps his suggestions coming up. But he's running his channel as a business, But like I said, I've been quite proud of the work that he's been doing lately, detailing out different things to do with Russia, although that doesn't really come up in his scroll either. And his views have been tanking. His revenue has severely tanked. And there are many other channels like this, and not just independent vloggers. CBS News, CNBC, MSNBC even, okay, until Maddow, and it seems to me like there's been a couple indications with comedic gestures and stuff like that she actually has been watching some of the old shows on here. Maddow has apparently taken my advice given to combat these things and taken enough active measures, just like Keith Olbermann has, because I reached out to Keith Olbermann directly. I actually think I emailed Rachel Maddow too, but I don't know if she got it because I was using her old MSNBC email instead of her new rachelmaddow.com email. My emails were all from like the late 90s and early 2000s. But anyway. Yes, dear? I have to leave. 1 second. I'm going to have to take a break, and then I'm going to try to get back to what the hell I was just talking about. Sorry to interrupt myself in the middle of a sentence.
'cause I don't understand. I'm gone, Lord, I'm gone. It's in my heart and baby down in my soul. You, baby, you can't take it no more. No, I know I'm walking out that door the way you treated me too many times before. Don't you know you love me, baby, too? Oh, you know I want you there, I wanna be right there with you. I know I gotta keep you by my side till the day I die. 'Cause baby, ecstasy is in my hand. Oh, when I'm holding yours in mine and walking in the sand. Oh, baby, you know it's fine. Oh, now you done and twist me off. You went done something you shouldn't have done. Baby, I'm mad. I'm going on. Oh, I'm going on.
Okay, sorry about that. Thank you for your patience. A little patience. That's all we need. Yeah. Did they name that baby giraffe Patience? I sure as fuck should have. I learned a lot of patience when I was living in that little memory foam mattress right there. One might take a glance at that and think the before and after was reversed. No, I just did basic paint to that car. I never reconstructed the back end to it. I had a shitty landlord first made me get the car towed and then kicked me out anyways. And that's how I lost that car with all 11 grand I put into it for $365. Dear, you left your laundry exposed. It's hard to have a black backdrop made of ladies' underpants. Sorry about that. Jeez. This is not an outfit of the day channel. My outfit of the day is the shirt I picked up off the floor over there. Yeah. Yeah. Love you too, baby. So, speaking of the help this old lady house, that's where she's going right now. Guys are working on it, and she's kind of she's an old lady. So Kira's going over there to entertain her, to keep her from trying to entertain the guys. Anyways. So, welcome Sean, welcome Carlos. I think I already said hey to you, Carlos. And welcome Reishi, which I could have just looked up there for. I was just checking my scroll, making sure it was all the way down. All the way down. Okay, so before I get back into the Matto YouTube ad thing, Emily says she's still not sure what to do with the octopus connection, given where I live. Every 8-pointed thing isn't evil, even in the old universe. Okay, but like I've said, and it's kind of hard to grasp, okay, the universe that we are digging into, in some respects, like in our memories, okay, like the history that you learned, that's passed away. This is a whole new universe, like a reformed universe. And what you can now research as best you can is, in many ways it's the same, but in some crucial ways, the story that you'll find is going to be obviously flipped. Basically, everything there is going to be with an opposite identity or an opposite personification. Opposite events. Opposite political standing relative to tactical position. That kind of thing. And one other key thing to understand about the new universe as opposed to the old universe that we're trying to look at to understand the reasons why this new universe is the way it is that that form of evil has already been defeated. Okay. And to put it into perspective as far as the chair involved, my latest walk through the Final Fantasy map, in which I am using save file number 1 and calling it Big Red. Yes, I have another little form of game magic I'm proceeding with, which includes patience tests. Speaking of patience, like the CD does not like to load. So it takes a lot of patience just to be able to play this game that I've, long since should have been sickened of. I've played it so damn much, but I use it to maintain meditative thought and to force myself to relax, because without, I can't seem to sit still long enough and wind up making my back get all inflamed. And yeah. So anyway, on this new walk through Final Fantasy gameplay. This new game I started. Just got to Luca. I've named Valefor Hathor. And now, instead of naming Ifrit Ball, which I usually do, I named him Manus. See, the thing is, we're not even dealing with Mars at that level anymore. The level that I'm at is well beyond his. He's literally just a man who has been confused into thinking that his warlock powers still exist. All the while, it was not his greater self that was acting as his, umbrella star. It was Gabriel. And that plan is what made Gabriel laugh so hard. Because that's when I provoked them. That's when I told them to come forth. Under the mistaken impression that the god of war was still the god of war. Those are all just chairs that I built. That's all. Literally. Just chairs that I built from different materials. That's all they are to me. So, while I'm exhibiting tremendous spiritual pressure, I seem to be able to recall the memories of what I was just saying quite easily. That's lovely. I'm not very much awake in any way that is abnormal for me. But let's get back to what I was talking about earlier with Rachel Maddow and Keith Olbermann. See, specifically what I was going to mention is that their efforts based upon awareness of the tactical situation, whether it was gained from my channel, which specifically laid out, what was going on, why it was going on, and what to do about it. They could have found other means, but what they did was persist their way into getting, like 40,000 views, 100,000 views, some of their videos 200,000 views. And it took TV appearances and cross promotions on network television and stuff like that for them to get just those kinds of views. If you simply compare the mathematical coefficient involved in view reduction and relate that to the number of views they've earned for themselves versus the number of views they would have actually earned for themselves if the algorithmic suppression wasn't taking place, they would probably have easily 1.5 million views per video overnight. There are far more useless channels that do better. Channels that, basically serve no purpose other than self-promotion, don't have as much entertainment or educational value, and frankly, nobody's heard of it until they get on YouTube. They've heard of MSNBC. They hear, yeah, I can go and look at news clips from major networks on YouTube. I can go on YouTube and see news that I missed. And a lot of people go on YouTube their first time and they go and they subscribe to CBS News, and they subscribe to MSNBC, and they subscribe to Fox, and stuff like that. But you'd have to watch a lot of those videos manually to even get those things, not just the random talking head to show up in your suggested videos. Things show up in your suggested videos that you've expressed no interest in, and they suck you down these different rabbit holes. And a lot of them have been these accounts in the past couple years that were created and instantly monetized, whereas everyone who made a YouTube channel before I made my YouTube channel had to have their YouTube channel for a while. I had to have my YouTube channel for a while and get it up to, I think, 200,000 views before I could apply for monetization. And then I had to wait a few weeks for that to kick in. But then a couple of months later, right before the election, they basically made a digital propaganda machine, fully monetizable, and thanks to the Supreme Court decision that made it possible for corporations to donate unlimited amounts to a political candidate. Okay, that fucking ended our democracy, because a corporation in this argument is sold to you as an American citizen. But what is included in corporations, and if anybody still sees this fucking stream, please comment below right now. Like, I'm starting to wonder whether I'm just like completely blocked. I have this many people have commented, and it still only shows 3 people watching. So if you're still here, please comment. Let me know you're still. Fuck. Now I actually did lose my train of thought, because it's disturbing. Comment. Okay, Maximo's still here. That's just weird. I saw all these other people join us, and it never went up. The number of people watching never went up. Yo. So anyways, yeah, back to rabbits again, huh? And Sean Spicer's bunny costume. Oh my God. Oh, well, let me get the headlines in a little while. Sorry, my little lecture about the whole situation with YouTube and everything is taking so long. I'm sorry my videos take so long to begin with. I really don't. I try not to have that much downtime in them, you know? But for some reason, they've been going longer. I hope it's been at least productive for those of you who sit and watch all this crap. See, it says it right there, but I can't keep that in the screen and have it all readable. You know, I gotta keep it right there so the comments are visible, zoomed in enough. Yesterday, the 4 thumbs down from the troll accounts managed to stick. Funny how trolls are allowed to run YouTube. It's just that just says it all. Okay, they have free reign. Like there's just no attempt to counsel anyone who's harassed by them. There's no customer service. There's no complaints department. There's no describe what these people did. They've made it harder and harder to report trolls and easier to flag and suppress channels. Three likes, 5 watching. Well, I'm glad you feel like you learned something. I try. Oh, now it says 4 watching. YouTube bot control agents? You're just pushing my head in the water. I'm trying to save you from drowning. What you don't seem to realize is that I can breathe underwater, metaphorically speaking. Okay, so that counts as downtime. Now it says 5 people watching. Oh, thank you, YouTube control Barts. Barts. Wow, man. The Daedalus map. You could probably find that if you just Googled like Pangea flat Earth, I think. I can go ahead and put it up for you though. That one is easy to find. And there it is. And these are just, like I said, just things I Googled. That one actually looks like it was from a video. This one I Googled. Ooh, look, it's a GIF. It has transparency. Looks like an eye. Check that out. I see you. Okay. I'm trying to be silly because I have a little one sitting here being quiet. Because she's been throwing a little hissy fit because she didn't want to eat a deviled egg because she doesn't trust me at how delicious they are. So, yeah, I was just being a little bit silly with the eye thing, seeing if I could get her in a little bit better of a mood. Pedro? That's Carlos. Now he called him Pedro too. Oh, white people. Qigong. Does that have a lot of this kind of hand in it? Qigong. I never even heard of that. Ignorant Dutch mutt. It's like it's when it's just him. We remember he's the Latino guy, okay? He doesn't have his name written. So it's easy to remember Pedro as Pedro, but it's not easy to remember that CRM stands for Carlos. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Anyways. So, I don't know if I was done talking about Final Fantasy yet. But on my Final Fantasy game, I am going to be naming many parts of the Egyptian pantheon. And basically, through my meditative little astral thought process, wield them all as my Zanpak toy. And, maybe eventually I'll make it to the end of the universe and there'll be a nice restaurant there. Could be. So, before we get into Philippine turkey and cashmere robes in a Korean restaurant, let's see, was I done with the the little bumblebee chick, I think. I'm answering her question about Final Fantasy, about which one I'm going to name Wadjet. The little bumblebee chick of the three sisters. Yeah. The Magus sisters. So anyways, yeah, shows like Rachel Maddow, who have been ahead of the game and made aware of this whole fuckery situation, have gotten themselves up to what seems to be a good number of views and subscribers. But I'm telling you, it's just not what they really should be doing if this suppression effort wasn't underway. So anyways, speaking of the different ways to counter the suppression effort, I need to make a new channel trailer because my old channel trailer is crap. I mean, if you don't know what you're looking at, it's crap. If you know what you're looking at, it's kind of cool, I guess. You know, it's cool for me. It was like, at the time, a nice little recap of events. But I need to pick 2 songs at least. You know, like maybe an intro song. You know, I might do it intro style, like Sunshine in the Rain. Like I want to know y'all's thoughts on this. Sunshine in the Rain, leading in and out of it, and then which song, if not Lie Back, to have in the middle, and what clips come to mind that you think just need to be in the thing, even if it's like like an ending in silence. Like if I end with the lightning strike shutting off the power, and then just like have it fade to black, and it just creeps people out into wanting to subscribe. You know, like takes you back to the good old days of Windows 95 in a positive way. Oh, the old channel trailer? Yeah, it was used with MS Paint. Now, okay. Let me just say something to that, because we had the guy yesterday saying that this looks like Windows 95 graphics. That is an insult to Windows 95. Okay, my graphics are horrible, but Windows 95, you could have Photoshop 7.0, you could have like major movie studio graphics programs on there. You could have Corel Draw on there. You could run Half-Life on a 32 meg video card on a Windows 95 system. You didn't need to upgrade to Windows 98. Windows 95B was a perfectly good operating system. Yeah, it's I mean, this is a free program that comes with Windows. That's why I use it. You know, it's on the start menu the moment you install your operating system. It's MS Paint. That's why I use it. You can type text into it and put it on a graphic background. I figured that was better than nothing. I mean, it's either that or I'm going to be sitting here with my webcam screen floating in a fucking black background. I thought this looked a little more professional. If you guys disagree, I'd love to hear your opinion on it. But, you know, some troll saying it looks like Windows 95 graphics. I don't take personal offense to just about anything. Okay, I really don't. I'm very good at making fun of myself, and I've met few people who are even close to being able to make fun of me as well as I can make fun of me. But when it comes to people just being stupid and wrong, I twitch. And to say that this looks like Windows 95 graphics just means that you're a fucking stupid person. Yeah, like it's just like, you know, you caught on to his stupidity without taking a step back and thinking, wait, they had good fucking games and all kinds of shit on Windows 5. But I think what he was referring to at the time, even because he couldn't see the graphics, we were actually full screen at the time. He was referring to how my windows look. Okay? And that doubly just shows how fucking ignorant he is as a troll. And it proves one thing to me as a veteran technician. I'm not an up-to-date, you know, I don't have knowledge from the last, you know, 5 to 10 years of what's been coming out lately. Since about maybe 2009, 2011, that's when I kind of retired the computer business. That's when it started to just give way to the car business. Okay. Maximo says he started on DOS, moved on to 3.1, and then to 95. So I remember. I have on 2 laptops, 2 towers, one of which is currently capable of turning on at the push of a button. The other are somewhat disassembled and or need TLC, like additional screen, like the laptops both need to be plugged into a screen. Oh, we moved the other laptop into the living room and then discovered that it doesn't really fucking work at all, actually. But the data's still good on it. None of them even run Windows XP Home. None of them run Windows 2000. None of them run 98. None of them run 95. I have Windows 7, Windows 8, and I have Longhorn Server. Okay? And what this guy said proves to me that these Russian trolls, these Russian hackers, they're not like super geniuses who independently know how to hack. They are taught and know only what they're told. Okay? They only know what they learn for their job. Because, first of all, the folder view actually, this view of Windows 8 or any permutation of Windows 8 is not mistakable. Even the browser view. Okay, let me put the browser back up. You don't get this browser view in Windows 95. This is not what Internet Explorer 8.0 looks like. And that is the latest browser you can run on Windows 95. In fact, this looks nothing like Internet Explorer 8.0. But if you've never worked on a Longhorn server or a system that would have been secured by a veteran hacker or information technology expert, you wouldn't know what this looked like. And you'd be like, oh, gray boxy stuff, Windows 95. So, that's how I feel. I am now officially off of my soapbox. It's just annoying. Maximo, like me, was on DOS, moved to 3.1, then to 95. Tell me how little you know about computers with your little fucking tricks that you got taught by your masters, you puppet bitch. Go ahead. Keep going. I enjoy the view counts. Just, block each one as they log in. Doesn't trouble me at all. This is not a flat earth video. And again, tell everyone how little you know about computers. Tell everyone how little you know about religious fundamentalism. Have you ever had an original thought in your life, little troll? Have you ever done anything that wasn't utterly pathetic? I doubt it. Anyways. So, yeah, yeah. I was about to get in there and help. So, what I was thinking about for the channel trailer was kind of starting it, maybe not with the Sunshine and the Rain theme song at all. Maybe going kind of like a welcome to my experiment. And then trying to say something in tandem, both to disclaim and to promote the unusual nature of this channel. The aspects of this channel for which little faggots like this get butthurt so easily. And of course, by faggots, I do not mean to imply that they are homosexual. Because I am from New Orleans. And in New Orleans, that's not the definition of a faggot. And this is a comedy channel. It's all a comedy. All of it. All comedy. Okay? True or not, it's comedy in the classic sense. Like a first-person shooter. Oh. Oh, you're so imaginative. I want to be just like you when I grow up. I guess he really took offense to me pointing out specifically how much of a moron he was. And, you know, considering how little life accomplishments he must have, how small his penis is, and how low his IQ must be, he must have been clinging on with such great emotion to his few little things that he thought he could do that made him better in his mind in some way than me. That illusion is over for him and cannot be recovered. Anyways, bye-bye, little troll. I do appreciate the increased view counts, though. Thank you for your useless existence. Anyways, you know, useless from your perspective. It's about people like you and how they don't deserve to exist. And how they all should know it if they watch this channel. And it's about all the little stupid things they tell themselves to avoid the truth. Yeah, it really is. Especially considering the biggest thing that you little blind people deny is when I snap my fingers and change reality. Time-stamped, logged, in unedited videos, proving exactly who I am. But it's just stuff that little trolls can't deal with in their tiny little worlds. Because all they get told is what their masters need them to know so that they can be good little useful tools. Anyways, get rid of that. I don't like his fucking screen name. It's the same guy. It's the same fucking guy. Anyway. So, I want to do something like welcome to the experiment. Okay? Where you can see how the relentless effort of extremely butthurt trolls and hacking efforts and hacking of corporate entities all tie back to what has unfolded in real time, verifiable on this channel. And I just want to present it as sort of a I'm not really sure why this has happened to me, but I'm kind of rolling with it to see where it goes, kind of thing. Because, you know, you can't break records on an IQ test and not have some degree of skepticism no matter how much shit is proven to you. Okay, like I have a degree of skepticism to everything. I have a degree of skepticism to whether I'm awake right now. Pretty sure I'm awake. Pretty sure I'm awake. Pretty sure I'm actually doing this right now. Comedy. Comedy. Oh my God. You know, when you don't get someone else's joke and other people get the joke, it means that those people are smarter than you. Just saying. So, it's very much too bad that the god of war and Mother Sekhmet no longer serve the cult of the horde. It's a shame that everything they do is so blundersome, and they think that because it's gone so well for them in the past, that this is what they must do today. And it's just not going to go well. Not for them. Not at all. But what do I know? What do I know? What information could I possibly have in this tiny little forehead? Anyways. Yep. You can always tell someone is just iniquitous and loathsome and clinging to materialism and what little they have by their inability to take a joke. So anyways. Bushido. Oh no, not gonna go there again. Jeez. Troy versus Greece seems to parallel Carthage versus Rome. I agree. And I think that has something to do with the Caesar Johannes cover-up mythos thing. So anyway, Crave the Other Piece. The problem with that is I don't have a decent recording, so I guess I'd have to record another recording of Crave the Other Piece. I want something that kind of gradually builds and then cuts off. So I was thinking lie back again for the trailer music, but like with more kind of hard cuts to the rhythm, you know, like the transitions on the hard cuts of the song. But then I definitely want to include the tremendous effort of trolls who have gone to unique measures to, I don't know, just harass and annoy me. But then tying that into the defeat of pride and the selfie soldiers. Okay. Like, you know, basically the deceit of Mars, not the defeat of Mars. The deceit of Mars is the overconfidence. Okay, their idea that this is helpful for them. Especially considering that that is the earth beneath their feet. And I want to tie that to deceit. The Night of the Laughing Dragon, maybe. And going into the dates of the reporting, maybe like a pan down of the channel with the warning dates given. Anything I'm saying is up for debate, and I'm definitely open to other ideas on what should be included. Oh, Emily, can you add the recent lightning strike stuff to the Fort Thomas's thing and the clip of the power out during the live stream? That needs to be the most recent thing on the Thomas's list for sure. Thank you. Suppose I could fucking do that myself if I remembered it while I had my cell phone, but I'm remembering it now during a live stream, so please. Thank you. I'd like to mention my very helpful volunteers in the channel trailer, because it's pretty interesting how like other channels have been allowed to grow based on originality or quality of content. Many just simple vlogs, guys just sitting there talking to a camera without anything else going on, have been allowed to grow. And many of them have wound up hiring people, expanding into studios, that kind of thing. Meanwhile, my channel at least had the quality and, I guess, legitimacy of being honest, an honest channel, an honest actual YouTube, broadcast yourself kind of thing, not like a wannabe TV show. That I've had people willing to put their time into helping this effort of getting out and discovering truth. And here's a good question. How long should a channel trailer be? Is 5 minutes too long? Like, how long should I be trying to condense this crap down into? Because I already know one thing. I'm going to have to, which do y'all prefer, AM or PM broadcasts? We might have to put that up to a vote, because I'm going to have to get in here during the time that I would have otherwise been broadcasting, and it's probably going to take me a few days at least to make the trailer. But then I'm going to, the reason why I'm set on the trailer thing is because I asked my wife which one she thinks we should pay to promote, and she thinks we should make a new trailer and then pay to promote that, which seems like the best idea I've heard. Okay, so Emily likes the daytime broadcast, so I come back here and work at night. That would work. And I think it's morning for Maxima when I get on here. It's yeah, there you go. Oh no, it's morning in Spain. Yeah, when I get on here, but pretty much morning for Maximo. Anyways, all right, so that's what I'll do. I might yep, Ireland, be morning there. So he gets up in the morning, I'm already broadcasting. That's working for you. That's cool. I want to accommodate you guys because y'all have been some of the big supporters here. Okay, so keep going if you have any random ideas or suggestion, and I'm going to move on to the new addition to the growing fleet. Generally speaking, it's been a pattern in the past couple of decades that before we actually attack something, the number of carriers that surrounds it or gets moved into the same general region is 5. Well, today, the Vinson returned to the coastal waters of Republic of Korea after carrying out exercises offshore. And when it returned, it had the Nimitz with it. And the Nimitz is a special carrier. The Nimitz is a carrier that always has a few interesting new tricks up its sleeve. Five minutes, yeah. Maybe I'll try to do it 4 minutes and 20 seconds. So, yeah. The Nimitz not only has a lot of experimental avionics coordination, command and control capabilities that, well, they've been experimental for a long time, and I'm pretty sure they're probably working pretty damn good by now. But it also has the flagship electronic warfare fleet, if you will. And by fleet, I mean fleet of planes. So they've been out there pretty much in secret, and now they just show up right as we I think Tillerson's words were, or was it Pence today, said on the DMZ in Korean Peninsula, we are, quote, ready to take action. I'll say. But with Russian reinforcements, they're ready too. Saddam didn't get nothing fresh. Saddam was trying to move out and cover up the stuff that he had. They've got some fresh produce that our ranch dressing will not hide the bitterness of. So anyways, I wanted to get to the notes, and interwoven with the notes, I have some philosophical notes. So I kind of wrote philosophical stuff late last night, and this morning I gathered the news, and I just decided to put it on the same page. Which you can't focus on because my cell phone, my camera driver's screwy. Yeah. Anyway, it's supposed to be an autofocus camera, turns out. So anyways, God seeks help from the alert. First thing I have written down there after my note that was added up there to mention Eric the car guy and the YouTube notifications. He's not getting, like, his viewers, Eric the car guy's viewers, aren't getting email notifications of his uploads and streams. Ain't that something? You know, because he's so controversial with the whole car repair thing. But he's a good guy. He's not a agent. So he struggles. And it's early in the Bible where you learn that God values vigilance, that God values alertness. I believe it's repeated by Joshua, but first takes place with Abraham. And he has his extended clan with him, and they come across a river. I believe it was the River Jordan in this case. And this is I'm just trying to remember the Bible story here. He only picks to go and raid the enemy encampment. He only picks 30-second introduction. Yeah, that sounds good. And how do you like the welcome to my experiment kind of thing for that as like the motif for the introduction, so as to kind of allow the proper amount of perspective to view any other video and not be like, what the fuck, and just kind of run away, back away slowly, that kind of thing. Anyways, what the fuck what was I just talking about? Shit. The energy has faded. Coffee is getting low. Coffee wasn't very good to begin with. All right, so what are we talking about? Pence in North Korea, Nimitz, electronic warfare. Shit. What did I just kind of tangent onto? Oh yes, the alertness, the Bible story. Okay. Somebody's probably typing the comment to remind me right now. Appreciate that. It's very helpful. So they were going to counterattack their pursuers. Some people that were going to set up an array against them had basically blockaded them in some way, right? And Abraham, I believe, and I know this, the story I think is repeated by Joshua. Okay, so I guess say Joshua only wanted the men who could bear arms, that when they finally found the river and they were all thirsty, didn't stick their faces in to drink because they were thirsty, and took a handful of water and kept watch as they drank, stayed aware as they quenched their thirst, took into account the vigilance needed to protect the whole rather than being consumed with the satisfaction of their own thirsts. And it was kind of that approach that I took to this channel. I thought the most alert might be here, trying to figure out this. And I took it upon myself to try to present an explanation to all these things. And, you know, disagree or agree, I've put forth original contributions. And the reason why was to see who was the most alert while they came to this river seeking a quench to their thirst. People come on YouTube looking up conspiracy videos because they have a need to know. But some of them just stick their heads right in. And all it takes is a little push for them to drown. That's not vigilance. Those aren't the people that I want on my team. But I know that a particular individual made it a personal mission to suppress my real subscribership to where I would not meet a goal that I set out in the beginning of 300. I said all I really needed was 300 people to wake up. And this individual, probably this guy we had a little visit from earlier, probably somebody like him, maybe his superior, maybe his master, decided that would be their target. What they don't realize is that by doing so, they proved my legitimacy. They proved that they feared the power of my words, whether they admitted it to themselves or not. And that's how they tailored their suppression. So if you want to know how many people actually watch, actually know, chances are, still to this point, even though it shows I have almost 3,100 subscribers, there are probably less than 300 real people who actually watch these videos. And that's not including the ones that seem to go semi-viral and then tank all of a sudden. I'm talking about the everyday posts, these live streams, for instance. It's going to be less than 300 get notified every time. And I don't know whether it was done to a specific integer or a percentile, but the programming has played out consistently with what I suspected to be their response to that claim of mine, I guess, that statement of mine. But as I've pointed out, that was one layer of a plan that was for the benefit of those people. I wasn't pleading for help for my sake. I was trying to get people to save themselves. And 300 people willing to save themselves could have saved the rest of the world from what's to come. But thanks to you assholes, the little trolls, lots of people are going to die. And that's on your heads. Because you feared my words. Pathetic. Hey, baby. My wife has joined us. I wonder how often these little trolls have, live streams where like friends who they've made over a couple of years join them every day to fucking chat it up, and like how often their wife joins them for the live stream just to say hello and make her pretty little self known. See, now like everybody's smiling because my wife is here, And I just wanted to, point that out in case the troll's still watching and he's wondering what the definition of pathetic is. Okay. Pathetic is not using MS Paint just to show you're putting forth a little effort and so you can make fun of yourself. Being green with envy that someone can put such a small budget into a channel and bring so much wisdom to bear, and just being mad about that and not having known the value of friendship, not having known the value of love. That is the definition of pathetic. Anyways. And that's every Russian troll there is, whether they're in Romania or wherever. So anyways. China, oh man, Trump has made China great again. China's Q1 GDP has risen by 6.9%. Damn. They're happy. They're very happy. So where's all the massive economic rebound? Everybody's got a job and you're all rich now. Everybody's bills are paid now, right? In America? Yeah, because Trump made America great again. Well, China's doing just fine. China's doing just fine. That's nice. Nice for them. So M, B, and C White House. Oh, I abbreviated something and now I don't know what the hell I said. How about that? So, losing our way. Spiritual note after that little news note. And then we have Philippines tourism. Seems like it's pretty obvious how the Philippines has lost their way. Edgergon with the mass murdering of people who do drugs and shit. And basically, it's only been a plot to solidify one drug mafia connection's hold. I wonder which drug mafia connection that happens to be. I wonder which one. And because of this, Western and Japanese and South Korean tourism, namely South Korean tourism, has drastically decreased for the Philippines. But because of their new friendship with China, they've begun to make up for the revenue loss in Chinese tourism by attracting Chinese tourists. All the little shops and the tourist agencies have all changed their efforts from Korean to Chinese. So you can lose your way and effectively sell your soul and wind up prosperous for a time. And that's the best that we could hope for right now. Unless we find our way again. And to find your way, you have to realize how far lost you are. Okay? Western civilization is no longer a society. America is no longer a community, no longer a society. It no longer functions as a whole. It's as if a group of people just got here and negotiated a way to barely cooperate. Okay? That's basically what we've been reduced to. But to get it back, to find where we could have been, to find where we last were that was progress, and build from there, we need to first figure out what went wrong. Okay, and that's been a large focus of this channel. Okay. But then we need to, as a civilization, as a collective, as a society, figure out what to do so that our children aren't as ignorant as we were, aren't as helpless and selfish and just, trophy for participation complex as we are these days. And even those of us who laugh at the participation trophy concept, we are all all of Western civilization and Eastern civilization, the whole world, societal degradation has led to a sense of entitlement. A feeling that a feeling that you deserve justice, that you deserve more, without actually, my wife just had a comment filtered. Bring me my phone, please. Somebody, bring me my phone, please. Phone. You're fine. All right, thank you.
I'm in trouble with math. Yes, my math teacher gave me one.
In a little while. All right, so waiting on the Murphace to send me the breaking news. You can text message me, baby. I'll just read it on here. China and Russia sent spy vessels to watch our Navy boats heading to North Korea. Okay. Well, in case you need to add more, got my phone back here. Back there out of the way of the Wi-Fi. So thanks for that, baby. And anyways, getting back to what I was saying before we get back into more Korea stuff. It's funny how even I'm away from the whole treason thing for a lot of time, and now I'm forced to talk about the unfolding fucking war. We need to decide, in a nutshell, what to teach our children And I don't mean like history. Obviously, we need to get history right. Obviously, we need to teach them a more pure approach to science and, brainwash them against religion less, because I'll get into that in a moment, actually. But we need to figure out what we should teach our children about, and what age we should teach them about things like death, like civic responsibility, like money, like greed versus productive ambition, like essential moral building blocks that we can all agree on unless we're hiding something. We shouldn't cater our education to criminals. Reproduction. We need to actually decide as a society, when do you bring up what about reproduction? And actually not just be biological about it. Talk about relationships. When, like, not every parent has all the answers. There should be a collective effort to gain wisdom and to spread that to our children so that each generation becomes wiser instead of more dependent, more entitled, more in the now. Yahoo News is the only one reporting. I actually did see a couple of videos from the Russian shitliverse talking about that, because they want to, they just want to get as many views as possible and keep people as panicked as possible, because all of them, they work for 3 different places, okay? The shitliverse, they work for 3 different places. The NRA, the FSB, and gold and silver mining companies. So they're all trying to cause a panic to get you to buy guns or to get you to buy gold and silver, like Paul Begala and Mr. Thrive and Survive. Used to be Alex Jones used to do the gold sales thing. But yeah, they all promote as much as they can because they're selling something. And I always try to use them as leads. Take everything they say with a grain of salt. I don't often even watch their videos anymore, but their headlines, I can tell by their headlines. Oh, something's going on there. Might want to see if it's real, see what the real story is. After spending several years verifying their constant lying. Anyway, so when you don't get it together, when you don't decide what to teach your children, when you lose your way and you get somebody like Duarte and the Philippines, or Erdogan in Turkey, or there's big riots breaking out because of an abusive authoritarian regime trying to change laws and basically sell out to our oligarchical eminent domain in Kashmir. And today, Turkey voted to expand presidential powers in accordance with the Constitution. So they're having a constitutional referendum to expand presidential powers. Permanent change. Basically, they have voted, and I'm using quotes for obvious reasons that are, somewhat of a repetitive theme now. They voted yes to dictatorship. And it's the basic civic values that a man referred to now as Jesus Christ once taught, that became liberalism, that became progressivism, that became Western civilization, that became manners, etiquette, how you treat other people. Those fundamentals that our society lacks in its ability, in its efforts to educate our children, those fundamentals weren't taught in those places either. That's how they got the way they are. It's not this religion, that group, this race inevitably can't get along because they're different. As long as they have a sense of civic responsibility, as long as they have manners, as long as they understand on a basic level responsibility to their fellow human beings, no dictatorship can arise. No group that has manners is going to want to wield unfair power over another group. That's what secularism is. It's not atheism. It's we should all get along based upon a series of commonly understood rules. And that's why all those gold and silver and FSB and NRA channels who want you to live in fear and spend your money accordingly so that they can consolidate their wealth. That's why they always lie about it. Portugal plane crashed into a supermarket after exploding in mid-air. What does LIDL stand for? All right, so anyways, what's happened there can happen here. In many ways, it almost happened here, is happening here. It's kind of ambiguous as to what's happening here right now. But I think we can all see that patience, very good, Sean. If we all learned the basic fundamentals of morality, if we all figured it out as a group and decided what to teach our children, we would stop losing our way as a society. We would become a community again. Otherwise, it's only a matter of time before one of these groups votes yes to dictatorship. And speaking of democratic upheaval, the former president, I believe, of South Korea, the Republic of Korea, is now being officially charged with whatever crimes they've decided she was guilty of. And there's not a whole lot of publicity yet that I'm seeing as to who is the new person in charge there, what's their allegiance. You know, are they going to protect Korea from the North? And we had a rather tragic event unfold in Syria, where a group of refugees was told that they were able to evacuate. And then apparently, and nobody knows who did it supposedly, a gigantic car bomb, supposedly a car bomb, killed 126 of them, injuring countless more. 68 out of the 126 confirmed dead. We're children. Just refugees trying to escape the violence. And even in Syria, you can see just the fundamental of how people should treat each other. Those fundamentals that, you know, internet trolls all seem to lack in unison. None of that would be happening if we had our shit together. Because if America had its shit together, if we were communal, if we were a civic society, and I don't mean communism, I just mean if we communed with each other, if we made a point of having a societal etiquette, a societal standard of morality, of friendship, of fellowship, other places in the world wouldn't be able to propagandize populations in the idea of East versus West, because the choice would be obvious. All right, let me read up on the comments here. LIDL is a supermarket brand. A European big supermarket chain brand, apparently. Cheap import bulk stuff like Costco. No, wish it was like a small Costco. As long as it isn't like Walmart, my wife says. The world doesn't need any more of those. No, it doesn't. Not quite, but we have that too, called action. Almost put my family out of business. Exactly. Bad storm brewing. She could feel it in her knees. And more hate for Walmart. I like Walmart as a concept, like the way it's presented to people, but it should have been limited. As far as local governments shouldn't have caved and should have protected the local businesses, and Walmarts should have been forced to be extra municipal. I think any international conglomerate has an unfair advantage when it comes to local businesses and will not create as many jobs as the many businesses that they put out of business. And that has been a severe hindrance to the income inequality situation in this country. So, anyways. 68 kids. 68 kids. And a place largely controlled by Syrian and Russian power. 126 people, 68 kids. Kids are who we need to be teaching. Because most of us, most of the people our age, it's already too late. Most of us have already been brainwashed and are all so stubborn set in their ways. And now we have, instead of talking about what should be taught in schools, we're talking about what shouldn't be allowed in schools, like prayer. Oh, prayer's not guns, prayer. Not Islamic prayer, it's Christian prayer, right? No, because you're fighting for a civil right when you're praying all bent over and submissive. But when people, want to pray for somebody who's sick or like for their team to win or something like that, oh, that's a big problem. Okay. Thing is, that's illegal. the idea that prayer isn't allowed in schools is illegal. Because the government funds schools. Religion cannot be persecuted at a school. And also because of this, the way evolution is currently taught is also illegal and a violation of government, of the law against, in the Constitution, against government-funded religious persecution. Not to mention a violation of free speech. And we complain about jobs, we import everything and all shit from, there's so much crap in Walmart and Family Dollar and everywhere. It's just made in China. We complain about jobs, we import so much stuff. And then most of the stuff in China, Sean makes a great point, doesn't provide any more repair jobs, serviceability jobs, because the things that they make are disposable, not repairable. Cheap plastic, cheap steel, and electronics conducive to catastrophic overheating failures, also known as explosions. But anyways, we've taken a step backwards. We've gone completely the opposite way, and the way these cheap corporations have permeated our society also dates back to that, also ties back to that, in that when you buy a cheap product, who are you thinking of? You're only thinking of yourself. And you're only thinking of now. You're being deceived by selfishness. Because money's better spent on quality products that are made by people that you know aren't slaves. And that can be repaired. Something that comes with a warranty. Something that, you know, you got to pay a little service charge to get it fixed every now and again. But it's worth it. Because people who were free made it. Not people who were slaves. Not people who were paid cents per day, living in huts. And it's that basic lack of civic understanding, of thinking of things bigger than you. Not collectivism, not communism, just manners, secular order. It was a new thing. Because it used to be that any culture that was different was at war with cultures that weren't like them. That's how the world was for a very long time. And the Shilliverse, again the Shilliverse, tells you the New World Order is bad. And they've essentially made up their own definition for what the New World Order is, based upon misinterpretation of things like Novus Ordo Seclorum, New Secular Order, which is simply different groups of people all getting along. That's all. That's all it ever fucking was. Meanwhile, the real boogeyman, the real oppressive Orwellian force that wants to control your life and consolidate wealth, they were the ones funding that propaganda agenda. And making you think that, for some reason, a new secular world order is a bad idea, when it's basically the only hope for peace on this planet. Oh, but they told you that Jesus was going to come back and he was just going to smash all the bad people that didn't agree with you. Yeah, that makes a lot of fucking sense. And now because of big conglomerates like Walmart, this is another very good point that needs to be made. Like, okay, I'm probably going to open up a fish store. It's going to be other things, but it's also going to have a retail fish store in it. And I'm probably going to have to sell Chinese products just to be able to make money, because I'm going to have to compete with the fish store section at Walmart. That's just a fact of life. And he's sitting there, Maximo, even in Europe, even in the Netherlands, competing with these big chains that are, you know, fuck everybody else but me mentality, as far as their corporate boards go, because, you know, they didn't get basic civic manners instilled into them in school. And they obviously didn't go to Sunday school and get it either. We have to stock, at least at a level, we have to offer the cheap products just to get people in the door, to sell them a higher quality product. And that just creates more headaches, because, you know, while you can price down to compete with Walmart, you can't compete with their return policy or their shrink loss compensation ability. They can write off stuff. They can send it back to their direct link with the manufacturers. You know, they have all kinds of capabilities that a local distributor, a local seller isn't going to have. So not only is it harder to get people in the door, and you have to sell those cheap Chinese products to get people in the door so your price can compete with their price, but then when that cheap Chinese product goes bad, it's not Walmart that sold it to them. It's not, oh, Walmart sold it to a fucking shit from Walmart goes bad all the time. It's that guy sold it to me at that counter, and I trusted him, and he steered me the wrong way, and I'm gonna call the Better Business Bureau. And I tried to talk you into buying the Fluval filter, but you wanted to buy the fucking Chinese knockoff filter. I tried to sell you the expensive thing. I tried to sell you the Honda, but you wanted to buy the cheap Chinese fucking generator, whatever. And now that customer becomes a headache. Other customers see that, and your image is reduced in their eyes. Other customers see whatever they wind up putting on the internet because they're so pissed off and indignified that, you know, you, an individual, sold them a cheap product trying to keep up with the cheap products that they sell at Walmart all the fucking time. And Walmart will sell 10 to 1 of the same thing made in China. And you'll get 5 times more complaints because you're an individual business. And people feel all indignant when they buy something cheap from a small shop, even though that's what they demand of them. Because again, even the customer doesn't have that sense of civic responsibility. A customer doesn't walk into a local store and understand, I should pay more here and feel proud to pay more here because I'm supporting a local person who pays taxes in my community. It's helping the kids around here get educated, that kind of thing. Okay? This store, this local business is increasing the value, literally, and the overall character of my community. And I should do unto them like I would want them to do unto me, and take all that into consideration when seeing that my prices are maybe a few dollars more that they're going to find on the internet or at Walmart or at the big chain competitor. Yeah. So anyway, you solve the fundamental civic society problem. You acknowledge that we've lost our way when it comes to how we teach our children to behave, to treat each other. And you figure out how to fix it and decide to put that plan into action. And then the corporate board isn't a bunch of assholes. The customers are more understanding, local businesses will do better. Crime will go down. Local businesses will do better because people will steal less from local businesses. You know, there used to even be honor among thieves. Okay? And even if somebody, after being taught civic responsibility in a valid way, decides that society has still wronged them enough to where they need to steal, they would be more likely to steal from that corporation, from that big chain, and be like, no, I'm not going to steal from them. They're an individual business. They got kids to feed. And I know because I've known thieves like that. And, about 30 years ago, I used to be one. Pretty sure I'm good on the statute of limitations there. Especially considering that I couldn't tell you where the hell I did it and what I did. Because I was a young, dumbass kid. Anyways. So, behold, I come as a thief. Not like a thief. That's just one sentence among many. Anyway. So, Hulk smash. Murphyface want me to smash the storm? Wait, which way is Denham Springs? Ooh, nice one. Okay. Hulk smash. I hope that's what you meant, because, that's what I did. Okay. People value quantity over quantity. People are just easily deceived into thinking more is more, when sometimes more is actually less. More is more trouble than it's worth many times. They buy Maximos. I'm guessing some sort of market. I don't know what type of thing he's actually talking about. A general store. Maximo's General Store. That's what it should be called. Maximo's General Store. Buy big corporate overstock because they can't afford the storage fees. So there comes a point where corporations just have so much shit that they're like, oh, we're paying too much to store all this shit. Let's sell it cheaper so we can... I mean, like, it's so fucking disgusting how they waste in so many ways to shuffle around the green bottom line. You know, it's all about, let's just waste all this money here so we don't have to spend this money here. And essentially, the people that made those products aren't getting their money's worth overall, and it's at the cost of the people who were providing the storage thing. So that's jobs, that's other people's money. You know, it's like, it's the model that winds up happening in corporations winds up being just a slightly oversight blessed version of an oligarchy. Okay. And it's because there's not enough individuals that own stocks, not enough individuals on the corporate board, okay, that actually have that sense of civic responsibility. And it's those corporations that do have that sense of civic responsibility that I support, that you'll hear me mention on this channel, that give back, that exemplify what corporations should be and prove that it's not the idea of a corporation that's bad, but it's the root of our society that's decayed underneath it. So anyways, CEO is pocketing all the profits. Exactly. They're just moving the money around so that one person loses less. The people who made those products they're not getting the recognition at the price point that they felt that they deserved when they suggested the retail for those products. I mean, you know, no offense to an outlet store or to anybody who gets those surplus, but the makers of those products probably felt really proud when they were getting carried at that chain, you know? It's just, how would you feel, you know? But, I'm sure the corporate CEO is just fine. He's, you know, sitting in his fancy fucking jet, going to his limousine and whatever. Know some of those people, they creep me out ever since he was a wee lad. And they rat and flip on honest people. It costs my farm, my family, more than I want to disclose. I believe that. There's a special place in hell for people like that. Oh, yes. Special hells just for them. My folks have been breaking their back for 20 years because the best man at their wedding flipped on them with the Russian mafia. Ain't that a bitch? By the grace of God, we're still here, my folks, characters, and spirit. But it doesn't make sense by the economic books. And we do honest business. I believe that. I cry at the waste of natural resources. Me too, man. Like, well, the first time I remember wasting food, my family had just told me about the starving children in Africa, and I had my little stomach problems from worrying too much when I was little. I just worried. That's what I did. I just worried about everything. Very curious too. So I didn't finish my dinner. And after learning about the starving children in Africa, I was, yelled at again. Oh, you learn about the starving children in Africa and you still can't eat all your food? And I took my plate, and I remember I was just crying my eyes out, scraping into the trash can. I'm sorry, starving children in Africa. I wish I could bring this food to you. And that's been kind of like a formative moment, formulative moment for me, like just kind of defined who I was for the rest of my life. Another moment comes to mind is when I was homeless in Baton Rouge and living in that wrecked Integra. This right here. I had, sorry about that. I got 2x4s and reconstructed it. I was living in it previous to the wreck and had no choice but to reconstruct what I had. And I wound up in Baton Rouge because the reconstructed vehicle wouldn't make it anywhere else, and that's the nearest town to where I wrecked it. And yeah, like I literally wound up in Baton Rouge on that much of a circumstantial, coincidental whim, and that's where I found my merface again. That's where I found my wife after 30 years of looking for her. I was down at this little facility that gives medical and psychological and like food assistance to homeless people, but you have to apply for each different thing. And there was this kid who was there just applying. And I couldn't apply for the food assistance because I didn't have an address. And I had started that day with $2.25, and I spent $1.75 on a sausage, egg, and cheese sandwich. And I seen this kid sitting by the building, holding his stomach. So I asked him if he was hungry. And he said, yeah, man, I'm starving. And, I was living in that. right here where you just saw that blue, that's a bed sheet. The red and blue was my comforter. That's where I slept. And I knew, with the way the new car was looking, and with my reduced ability to drive and go to different, I used to go to coffee shops while I was homeless and fix people's laptops for them and, secure them and make them go faster. It made, like $60 a pop after Katrina. And I didn't have any plan to get more money, but I had a whole sandwich. That kid didn't have a sandwich, so I gave him half my sandwich. And we both sat there and ate together our little half sandwiches. I don't know if he ever got anything else to eat that day. I don't think I got anything else to eat that day. But I'd do it again. That's what I'm talking about. People just don't give a fuck about anybody else but themselves anymore. And we really, everybody, need to take a long, hard look at why that's become that way. Because a lot of people died fighting wars so that we could be better than this. And we're dishonoring all the sacrifices that have been made just by how we're treating each other. So anyways, it fucking breaks my heart. Hi Roberta. My wife is a merface. That's her right there. That's just my name. Mer is just kind of a random word for anything that you love so much you just can't express it. Just mer. And it is the root word of things like Merlin and Merovingian and a lot of different things that trace back to the baby Jesus. Mermaid would be another one, yes. Considering that the Galileans, who the baby Jesus was known to have been one, were sometimes referred to as the sons of Poseidon and also mermen. And it wasn't because they had fins, it's because they could swim really well. Kind of like the Navy SEALs at the time. Anyways. Mermaids. And then, of course, you have frankincense, which is incense with little things on its neck that goes fire bad. That's frankincense. And then you have myrrh. Okay. That's a funny thought, though. I want to go get a little stick of incense and put some little things on it, make it a little puppet. Anyways, so thanks for asking. Been so inundated with troll bots lately. I was like, wait a minute, is that a real person asking a real question, or is it just another stupid troll bot? Can't really fucking tell these days. Anyway, so your frankincense and myrrh comment did go through, but I when you hear the words Russian hacking, You have now found the nexus. Oh. Bye, baby. Love you. I just blew her a kiss. I blew everybody a kiss, and I don't know why. Oh, but she's gonna be gone a while, so I have to like wait for 3 hours or so to see my mer face. She is my face of mer. She has a face, and it makes me mer, so she was mer face. So there. So essentially, let's see. How do we make a long story short? We were just talking about a channel trailer on like what to actually do when somebody is new to the channel. How to not freak them out and make them back away slowly. By saying things like, I can make movies with a snap of my fingers. Because, that sounds fucking retarded when you first hear it. Then you realize I've done it in time-stamped videos months and years before those movies came out or were even discussed. And I had, like, a reason relevant to the struggle of mankind for creating that movie. And then it just happened to come out after I snapped my fingers on a timestamp video. That kind of thing. It's a little weird. A little weird. A bit much to take in at first, even. And as far as the Russian hacking thing goes, due to my, let's say, role in the universe, I have both put myself in the role of a voluntary counterintelligence operator in an effort to de-brainwash people who have been hypnotized by what I call the Shilliverse, the various YouTube channels that are funded by the Russian Foreign Services Bureau, the NRA, and gold and silver mining companies. And they've basically been propagandizing, as many people as will view their videos, Western civilization against the very power structure and democratic society that keeps it free and from being enslaved by what is another kind of big thing that you'll only find on this channel called the Forgotten Horde. See, about 1,000 years ago, Europe was being invaded. A lot. And about 500 years ago, Europe was still being invaded. A lot. And a bunch of people there all came here. Russian influence on the NRA. Very good. You are welcome here. Subscribe. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. So anyways, after doing sort of an outreach to what I explained earlier, to the most alert of people who are trying to remain vigilant, trying to quench their thirst for knowledge and not sticking their faces in every pool, lifting up their hands and staying aware of the world around them while they seek information. I've tried to reach out to those people by presenting videos that answer all their questions. Also debunking all of the misleading information that's out there. Yeah, especially in the flat earth and the alien conspiracy things, a lot of them basically, the reason why they're trying to promote the apocalyptic agendas that they have is because they want people to go into panic mode and think that the Federal Reserve System is going to collapse. That's a reoccurring theme. The reason why they're always against the Federal Reserve is because they want the gold standard to be back, because that's what they fucking sell. So anyways, what wound up happening on this channel was I wound up being targeted specifically by Russian hackers. And through this, and much contact with naval intelligence and Department of Defense and the FBI, the NSA, the CIA, and the Obama White House, I put myself out there as bait for trolls, hackers, kidnapping spies even, and there are those included in the Russian trolliverse. People who basically just go around and harass people and try to figure them out and see if they can go kidnap their children. Yes, that's another thing that Russian trolls do. What I've done on this channel, breaking the story of Trump and the Republicans' widespread collusion with Russia over the past 20, 30 years, okay, infiltration of the Republican Party by Russian intelligence and propagandization of Republican officials, effectively making them meat puppets of Putin. And it's led to, like, this channel here seemingly has led to wide sweeping changes to the entirety of the YouTube community. And I was talking about that earlier, how I tried to warn various other channels what was happening, and that if they could even just point people in my direction so that more people could be aware of what's going on, even if they joke about me, even if they insult me and then say, but this guy's got some information that you need to know, it could have kept so much of this crap from getting so out of control. And because they didn't listen, the efforts that seem to be responses to this channel have affected everyone. From the ease of monetization for completely useless, like, programmed upload channels that instantly can self-monetize, self-promote, and get fake views and fake videos, and basically are providing black ops budgets to sleeper cells in this country and in Canada and in Europe. So I first reported all of that, became an increasing victim of that. YouTube seems to have been changed in response to my reporting on that. And, you know, what else is there to say? Now everybody's monetization is fucked up. Now everybody's views are tanking. And all I can say is welcome to the club. This channel shows, if you click the about button when you're looking at the channel, will show that I have 900,000 views. I had 200,000 views before I enabled AdSense, before I was allowed to apply for AdSense. They were, oh yes, sleeper cells, counterintelligence sleeper cells. Okay, people that become active to perpetrate false flags or to perpetuate ideological agendas. Those kinds of sleeper cells, not the one that you're thinking of. But again, it wouldn't be surprising either, would it? So anyways, if I can keep losing my train of thought every time I reply to a comment. I had 200,000 views before I applied for AdSense. After I applied for AdSense and started actually getting revenue, my revenue was getting up to about $230 a month, and then YouTube changed its rules, allowing anyone to get AdSense immediately and when they open up their account. Then suddenly all my views started tanking too. And there's been many incidences in which basically I would report something and then my views would tank just because of the content. But the lack of a collective effort, the lack of leverage on the part of the truth has led to them being able to tell the news media, tell the general public, oh, we're now making an effort to combat fake news and insightful stories. We're not suppressing the free speech of the progressive that tried to stop all this shit to begin with. The too little too late effort, as I've said, was intentional and designed to promote the wrong kind of speech before the election and promote legitimate free speech, to suppress legitimate free speech after the election. And what you might not have known is that the co-founder of Google, who is basically the head honcho of YouTube, is kind of an East German with a Russian last name. No, he is that he's very, very likely candidate for being a Russian agent himself. So it goes all the way up to the top at YouTube. Ain't that a bitch? But here I am in the den of wolves, trying to survive. Now, what I didn't finish before, the sentence I was on before I got distracted by that comment. 200,000 views. Then I got monetized. AdSense has a view count that's refreshed daily. Okay, AdSense has its own little app that I can monitor. All right. According to AdSense, I have 1.1 million views. AdSense only counts monetized videos. So the videos that I have that aren't monetized, their views aren't counted in here. And I get a lot of views demonetized, a lot of videos demonetized because they tell about what Russia's really up to. So I have 200,000 views before AdSense. I have videos that AdSense doesn't count, but AdSense says 1.1 million views. YouTube says 900,000 views. How many views I've actually had on this channel? Who knows? I know one thing. Myself and my moderators have not faked views on this channel. There's been no fake subscriptions that we've paid for. But I think it's very possible that a troll actually intentionally added fake subscribers to this channel in order to get me flagged. I think that's a very distinct possibility that something like that happened, because it seems like I have more subscribers than I do. And I was gaining a lot of subscribers, a lot of real legitimate subscribers for a while. And I would suspect that there are at least 1,500 or so actual subscribers. But because of the suppression and the lack of notifications on new videos, there's less than 300 people that actually wind up seeing most of my videos. But anyways, if you like to acknowledge or explore the possibility of something very apocalyptic and spiritual going on here, just bear in mind that the definition of certain spiritual things may have been given to you by the very hypocrites who are the problem this day. So I might not seem what they told you to expect, but what I do is make you look into things deeper, make you absorb more information. And as far as the Bible goes, what you will learn on this channel will make more sense of it than it ever has before, in case it's been a while since you bothered reading. I know for a lot of people it has, especially considering since the 1,000-year-long effort of the horde to suppress and influence true Christian thought and Western civilization in general, it's kind of left a bit of a bitter taste in the mouths of most Bible readers or people who were at least at one point curious about the Bible. So anyways, Congress violating free speech and religious freedom by funding not the possibility of evolution in schools, not saying that, you know, a school shouldn't be a theocracy, school shouldn't be ran by a Christian church, but by saying that, you know, a Christian church is basically not even allowed to have any kind of say-so. Their free speech is limited in a school. And evolution is the Orwellian thing that you must accept, which is essentially a persecution of religion. Okay? Basically, evolutionism is a religion that calls all other religions stupid. And that's persecution. That's unconstitutional. Whether or not it's scientifically accurate is actually irrelevant. Because this is about constitutional law and the civil rights of people to believe what they want to believe, as long as that doesn't hurt anybody else. Now, coincidentally, the false argument of evolutionism and pantheism, of atheism, has been promoted by the same Eastern horde that promoted the hypocrisy and the apathy and the Old Testament misinterpretation of Christianity, that made people think, oh, well, this is leading to bad stuff anyways. Religion is bad. We're justifying our persecution of religion based upon this straw man argument that these assholes actually represent Christianity. And that's where we've lost our way. So anyways, yep, Russia's influence in East Germany. That's where he grew up, and that's how he acts like. When I say judge them by their works, this is what I'm talking about. Don't judge them by the color of their skin. Don't judge them by who they are, where they've been. But if they happen to be from that place, and they happen to act like an usurper, like a deceiver, like an infiltrator, then you're onto something, because you're judging them by their works, not by your prejudices. Anyways, so it has now, holy crap, it's been 3 hours again. I'm really not trying to do 3-hour broadcast, y'all. But it's been fun, been very interesting. Thank you to the new person, Roberta, everybody. Welcome, Roberta. Hi, Roberta. Excuse me, sorry about that. I thank everyone for your comments and participations and your pronunciations and whatever things that end with Shun, because, you know, that's my name. I'm Sean. How you doing? State of being. Yes, I am. Oh. A cheesy bastard. Yes, that's me. So thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for your questions and comments, as always. We will be doing this as usual every day, hopefully 7 days a week, around 11-ish. So keep an eye out for the 11th broadcast. Even if you are subscribed, you probably won't get a notification about it. I will still be trying to do the PM broadcast, but I'm going to start to try over the next couple of weeks, probably making time to make a new channel trailer to pay to promote that, so people like you can find this channel and learn what's on here without seeing me say something retarded and being like, this guy's a fucking crazy person. I'm just gonna, like, does anybody see me in here? I'm just gonna leave. And you know, that's not really productive. And once you get to know me, you find that usually my spastic statements are actually pretty fucking hilarious. So thanks, Danny. Thanks, Maximo. Thanks, Carlos. Thanks, Pedro. We'll probably watch this later and laugh about how we, you know, talk Carlos and Pedro and everything. And thank you to my wife for stepping by. And let's see who else here. Thanks to anybody who I missed. And thanks to the troll for pointlessly knocking up the view count. You know, because didn't have anything better to do. Everybody click the like button and make sure you are still subscribed, because your subscription could just fucking disappear. It does it all the time. Y'all have a good day. Peace. Oh, okay. It's all gone horrible. Yay, fishing.
The way you treated me too many times before. Don't you know you love them, baby, too? Oh, you know I want you there, I wanna be right there with you. I know I gotta keep you by my side till the day I die. 'Cause baby, ecstasy is in my hand. Oh, when I'm holding yours in mine, walking in the sand. Oh, baby, you know it's fine. Oh, now you done and piss me off. You went done something you shouldn't have done. Baby, I'm mad. I'm going off.